I think we don't get to this point without the team that we hired. We made some really, really strong hiring choices, and we were fortunate enough to have the right people come to us as well.
This is the Insurance Technology Podcast, where we bring interesting people from across the insurance ecosystem to discuss and debate technology's impact on the industry. Join us each episode for insights and best practices from industry stewards and tomorrow's innovators. Now, here's your host, Reid Holsworth.
Welcome back to the Insurance Technology Podcast. I'm your host, Reid Holsworth. This is episode 2 of Raghav Tanna. Raghav, the co-founder and CEO of Tarmika. In this episode, we're going to get deep into his new life at Applied after being acquired by Applied Systems. And we're going to get deep into what does Insurtech look like for the future. Raghav's got some insights there, and you're really going to enjoy it. So stay tuned. It's awesome.
So at the time of this recording, I guess the announcement's a little old, but you sold the business to Applied. I was heavily involved in the due diligence and through the process. I was the main. I was like the executive sponsor on the whole thing.
Yep.
It was a fun ride. It was fast though.
It was fast. So not only the executive sponsor, it started when you called me when I was on the golf course. Called me on a Friday, and I said I was golfing, and you said, "Weren't you golfing the last time I called you?" I said, "I golf a lot." And you're like, "Hey, listen, what do you think of this?" And I was like, "That's exactly what I want." And then we dove in. But yeah, it was fast. I think from the time that you called me to closing, it was like 3.5, 4 months.
Yeah, that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Overall. Yeah, to negotiate everything and get it all done, go through the diligence, the whole nine. So tell the listeners, how'd that go? How was that process? And then how are you feeling about it now?
So that process was surprisingly smooth. I've always been told that when you sell a company, it's absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
But it was surprisingly smooth. I think we had the right team on our side. You guys had a great team on your side. Everyone collaborated really well throughout the process. So I'm not just saying that it actually was positive. There's always negatives to any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think the process of getting acquired was much smoother than I could have imagined it to be.
Yeah, just recalling it, I don't think there was ever like a real point of contention throughout the process. I mean, usually, like I've been involved in a lot of this stuff, and like usually there's like something kind of happens. Like, it's a lot of money flowing around, a lot of egos, like there's shit. But like in your case, like that, that I remember.
No, there was no real phone call where I was like, I'm done, I'm out, I'm not doing this anymore. And I don't think there was ever a phone call where the Applied side was like, yeah, we're done, we're out.
Yeah.
I think overall, that's what I'm saying. It was a relatively smooth process, and no one tried to go behind anyone's back and do anything. So to me, I thought it went great. And now, I mean, I feel much better now that it's over.
Yeah.
Right? No matter what. I think once the stress of those 90 days, whatever it is no matter how smooth the process is, it's like insurmountable. It feels like the weight is just closing in on you, and that's brutal.
Oh, and it's Oh, I know. And it's everybody around you knows this is happening. And then, you start going on Zillow or whatever it is, looking at houses and, things, and, your loved ones are doing the same. Yep. And then, the staff is looking at boats and all of it. So it just starts to
snowball. The whole story. That's you try so hard to convince yourself that like nothing's going to change. I'm not even going to look at anything. I'm not going to buy a thing.
Right.
And the closer you get, the more houses you look at, the more expensive those houses get, the more cars you start to look at. And I was lucky because my wife never once said, she never sent me a house. She never sent me a car. She never sent me anything.
Yeah.
I know she was saving them, but she never once sent it to me because she knew it would just stress me out more. So it is wild how your mind just goes a million directions when you're going through this. You can't convince yourself, no matter what, you can't convince yourself like this isn't over till it's over.
Yeah.
And this isn't closed till it's closed. You just can't get your mind to think that way because you're like, I see the number. I see what's going on. We're 1 week away and still not even close to done. But you can't tell yourself that.
And and it's the fear of it all falling apart throughout the whole damn thing. You're just like, shit, what if it just doesn't happen?
Yeah. Psychologically speaking too, I think it's healthy to think about the outcome once it's done. Because if you just think about how hard this is and how bad the process is, you don't think about the positives that come on the other end of it, psychologically, that's hard.
Yeah.
So it was a fine line of, well, here's what happens on August, whatever day it was. And here's what's going to happen for the next 30 days, or 60 days, 90 days, whatever it was. I think psychologically you have to think of the outcome too.
Yeah.
Which I did.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good thing. And, we did a lot of planning through your due diligence on what are we going to do after the fact.
Yep.
Like, it's not like, hey, let's just buy this product and we have this cool thing. It's like, how are we going to really make an impact for, one, the applied user base, and two, at Ivans and what we were doing with IDP and everything. That was a big part of this deal, That's why I was so heavily involved in it.
Yeah, we did a lot. I mean, you guys came up to our office. We had 15 phone calls on integration strategy and integration plans.
Yeah.
I think the diligence process was much shorter if we hadn't done any of that.
Yeah, it's true.
It was just,
but it was less
necessary.
Diligence and more like planning.
It was necessary though, because now our path forward is incredible, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about user experience, the user experience for Epic, for EasyLinks, for carriers, through IDP. All of that is so streamlined and simple now that we figured it out before the acquisition happened.
Yeah.
We at least had clear messaging after the acquisition. Otherwise, we would have just been twiddling our thumbs and not really answering anyone's questions.
Yeah. I want to get your honest thoughts on this. What did you think about IDP when I was calling on you to become a partner? I was like, dude, come on, man. And you kept playing games. You're like, oh yeah, I will. I got this thing going on. My dog ate my homework. Like blah blah. Like what was your thought? What was your thought on the concept? And that you did end up signing up as a partner prior to the acquisition.
Prior to us even knowing what the acquisition.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you did actually become a partner. People don't realize that you became a partner before the acquisition was even happening.
Exactly. So the concept was incredible. I loved the concept. I loved what we were thinking about doing, and I loved the entire plan around it. What I didn't like was our revenue model was carriers. We were charging carriers. I didn't know how Tarmika continued to make money if I partnered with IDP.
Yeah.
And that's why I kept being like, I don't know if I'm going to do this or not.
Yeah.
Because the way I looked at it was they're paying for the integration. They're paying for maintenance of that integration. So if I do that all through IDP, if Tarmika no longer needs a back end, well, do we get screwed? Do we lose I think it's 50% of our revenue came from carriers. Do we lose 50% of our revenue all of a sudden? So I called a bunch of carriers. Say, hey, would you continue to pay for just our front end? Would you just pay to be on the comparative rater? And they're like, that's what we pay for now. And I was like, no, you pay for the maintenance, you pay for this. And like, no, we pay for all of that. So you can, once I got that from enough carriers, I was like, okay, IDP has a better back end than what we have, which
Mm-hmm.
We can
talk
continue.
about that.
Yeah. So IDP has a better back end than what we had before. And that's mainly from a scalability perspective, right? So we've run, now that I'm part of Applied, we've run tests on carriers that Tarmika had in common with Applied, right? What's crazy to me is I always thought our solution was the best, our solution was the fastest, our solution was the most efficient. And from the front end, I will say that with my dying breath that our front end was
I don't disagree at all.
The back end, which hurts a little bit, running a quote for one of our agencies the other day, IDP returned a quote in 20 seconds less than Tarmika did for the same carrier. I wish I had known that though when you were trying to convince me to pay you money to be on IDP.
Yeah.
If you had told me that, maybe I would have paid a little bit more. I wouldn't have negotiated as hard. I wouldn't have asked for discounts.
You would have.
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, you would have. With the same damn thing.
I don't think you moved down much on my discount though. I don't think I got much out of you.
No.
Simon was an easier negotiator than you.
That's wild. I love to negotiate. But it's true though. But it's funny. I could see that. It's just your revenue model and what it was. And, the theory behind IDP is by us powering the back end of systems like yours, then you can go and focus on all the front end stuff, user experience, everything that the end user really needs. 100%. Right. And then, you kind of looked at your revenue model, and the revenue model really for those types of products is the agencies at the user level. Yep. Right. I mean,
the agencies at the user level, and if you provide enough volume and traction to the carriers, they're willing to pay to be on the comparative rater, not just to be on IDP, but to be on the comparative rater. And that's what we were providing. So if they were going to continue to pay, even if you guys were the back end, if IDP was the back end, it was easier for us to not have to do the integrations.
Yeah.
That's why I signed the contract with IDP.
Yeah. No, and that was the whole thesis behind the thing. It makes it easier for everybody.
Yeah.
And you guys go charge whatever. I remember you called me about that. You're like, can I go? And I'm like, dude, you do whatever you want. We don't care.
Yeah.
We just want to power it.
Yeah. Now in hindsight, now that we are required, I wish I negotiated harder, because now I feel like I lost that battle.
Yeah. So how is it now working at Applied?
It's different.
Yeah.
Right. Like when you're in a startup, we were all in the office every day. I was only working with the 16 people around me and the team in India. And if you have a question, you just get up and walk over. I think it's not even just working at Applied, it's just working remote.
Yeah.
Like we still have our office, but now there's 40, 50, 60 other people on the team on commercial rating that we talk to on a daily basis. So it's just different.
Yeah.
It is nice to get rid of all of the responsibilities of a small business founder,
that's a relief, right?
Like HR
Yeah.
and payroll and all that other stuff that you no longer have to worry about. That stuff's a relief. Also working with people that know insurance and know the business so well and can help us scale the product. It's exciting. So I would say there's 95% positives and there's 5% that I hate, and that's being remote.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think everyone should be back, and everyone should just go back to an office.
Dude, it's so gnarly, and Applied's such a beast. I mean, we're up to what, 2,700 people now. I mean, it's a lot of people,
They would be, I think the commercial rating solution would be easier if everyone was in the same room like once a week.
Yeah.
That's the only part that I found difficult for me. But again, I love being a part of Applied. I think we made the right decision as a company, and it's more clear to me every day as we go through this that we made the right decision as a company. So, I mean, overall, there's no regrets on my side.
Yeah, I think people think too, it's like, big bad Applied or big bad Vertiford and whatever, because we're larger companies. But like, out of my experience, has been everybody's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty laid back.
Maybe, I mean, I only know the current Applied, right? So I don't know what Applied used to be, the one that people used to complain about. But current Applied it runs like a startup.
Yeah, I can say that.
It runs in a way that I'm comfortable with. It runs like a startup. And I haven't heard as much negative chatter about Tarmika being acquired by Big Bad Applied as I thought I would.
Yeah, I think that's kind of going away, honestly. But it was a different Applied a number of years ago. When I first came into Applied, it was a different Applied. It has changed in a positive way.
Yeah, 100%.
And we have some really smart people that are working on really cool shit. And this acquisition was a really good one for both orgs. It was really great for Applied, for the agencies, because Applied had built EpiQuote's commercial lines, which is a good product, but not as good as Tarmika.
Yeah.
You're way better at the data capture and question sets and just the UI in general. And so that's really great. It's also great for you to come in as a leader in the space and just help the team overall on that. And then on the Ivan side, it's really good because, it's been the chicken and the egg, and we needed more markets. And it's not that we couldn't go get them, and we have relationships with all these carriers. It just take a lot longer.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
I think no matter how good the relationships were, it's a process. I mean, it took us 4 years to get all these carriers, right?
Yeah.
And for you guys starting a year ago or 15, 16 months ago, whatever, it was going to take maybe less time than us. Maybe it was only going to take 3 years. It's still 3 years that we're not going out to market, that you guys aren't out to market, that agencies can't use your rating platform, right?
Yeah.
So this acquisition just made sense for agencies, for carriers. It made sense for Ivans.
Yeah.
It made sense for me.
Yep.
Right. And our whole team has found a home within Applied now that makes sense for their respective roles. And it's been exciting. I mean, it's been an awesome month so far, 40 days, whatever it's been.
Yeah, it's been that long already.
Yeah.
Oh man. Feels like a week ago.
I know, seriously.
I will say too, good thing about you is you built a really great team. I've gotten to know your people, and they're all really good. They're just really, really good people.
They are.
It's a great crew. You have great culture. Your office is cool. Although you don't spend money on anything, but
except for beer.
Yeah.
every Thursday we have happy hour. No, we do have the best team. I think we don't get to this point without the team that we hired. We made some really, really strong hiring choices, and we were fortunate enough to have the right people come to us as well. So we built some good relationships in the industry, and we hired some great people. And the culture is so important to us, right? Like that's why everyone comes in the office every day.
Yeah, totally.
I think people enjoy being around each other. People enjoy that. The one thing I will do is buy them coffee and beer.
Yeah,
so, nice. People enjoy all of that stuff. They also, I think a lot of it is they want to get away from their kids.
Yeah.
Right? They come into the office to get away from their kids, their roommates.
Yeah.
I would do the same thing.
Totally. Well, you kind of do.
I do. I go in every day. That's house is small, Yeah. I got to get away from my wife, my dog, my nanny, my kid. There's just everyone's running around.
No, it's awesome, man. You have built a great team. Good people. It's really cool to have them involved in the broader organization. I was there, whatever it was, a week ago when we were talking to the whole staff. That's no bullshit. There's a lot of opportunity for them, 100%, for them to grow in their careers now and just do bigger things.
We have a young staff too, and they have a huge career ahead of them. They have a long career ahead of them, and there's a lot of growth opportunities for them now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what else, man? So tell us a little bit about your feelings on insurance technology. What kind of things do you think are going to become really important in this industry? So we're here at Insurtech Connect in Las Vegas right now. It's sitting here, literally. Event's officially starting, I guess, tonight, tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're already having a lot of meetings. I don't know. What do you see is impactful? The commercial lines rater thing has been hot. There's been a bunch of people. They're kind of getting acquired and gobbled up, if you will.
Yeah.
Right. There's still a couple out there that haven't been yet, but that's going on. A lot of this embedded insurance stuff going on. I don't know. What do you think?
My take is that the embedded insurance world is going to take over in the next 3 to 4 years, 5 years. And it's not going to be that it removes the agency from the equation at all. It's going to be that agencies are fully ingrained into embedded insurance.
Yeah.
Agencies will have to find ways to meet their clients where their clients want to do business, whether that's through their accounting software, their point of sale software, through their websites, whatever it might be. Agencies are going to have to adapt to clients wanting the Amazon experience. And we've been saying that for years, but it hasn't really been possible until recently. And now that it is possible, I think we're going that direction, and we're going that direction quickly. So we're seeing a lot more of that right now than we have in the past.
Well, and you've been playing in that.
We've been playing in that, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that.
And so we believe that the embedded insurance world is extremely important. And we decided about a year ago that, hey, we're going to help agencies meet clients where they want to be met. So we're going to help agencies put themselves in a position to sell everywhere. So we built out an embedded insurance workflow that allows agencies to take our software and plug it into point of sale systems, plug it into websites, plug it into accounting systems, wherever they want, and sell to those customers. Honestly, in theory, it sounded great. It really wasn't that effective at first because we didn't know what clients wanted. We didn't know what agencies wanted. And over time, we figured it out just like we did with the commercial rater. And here we are a year later, and it's our fastest growing.
Yeah, that's really grown. Obviously, I know the numbers. That thing's taken off.
Yep, that's our fastest growing piece of the business now.
Yeah, I could see that. So you think it's just going to continue to ramp more and more and more?
Yeah, that's going to continue to ramp more and more and more. So I think that's going to be a massive part of our business in the next 2 years. And fortunately, Applied and Ivans view it the same way.
Yeah.
So we're starting to scale that for our large enterprise customers. They want to put the tunnel, which is our embedded product, wherever they can.
Yeah. And that's where we see IDP growing as well, where companies that want to just build all of it and just own it and have their own IP, but they just want to have, connect up to our back end. We're having those conversations in a major way.
Yeah.
I could see that. What else? Anything else you think is interesting out there?
Right now, I think outside of that, the most interesting thing is just tech in general and the change of perception on what tech companies should be. I think tech companies used to be, let's raise hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Let's build a completely unprofitable business, but let's get millions and millions in revenue. And then they'll sell for an absorbent amount of money, right?
Right.
Now, every VC firm, every PE firm wants a profitable business. At least that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So I think that is the most interesting part to me. I don't know what that does for Insurtech. I don't know what types of businesses will be successful in that. But it's such a focus area now for all tech companies that if Insurtechs don't start venturing down that path, our failure rate's going to go from, 90% to 95, 96%.
Right.
It's just so important for insurance companies to run like, or insurance technology companies to run like real businesses and not just startups that want to raise a ton of money.
Right. Yeah, totally. I can totally see it. So what else, man? What do you like to do for fun?
Golf. You know that.
That's it?
Yeah. I'm a big golfer. I like, so two big things that I love to do. I love to golf. I would golf almost every day if I could. And
What do you love about golf so much?
it's relaxing.
Yeah?
It is. So even if you're playing bad, what is better than being out on a 70-degree day in the sun, outdoors, with a couple buddies, a couple coworkers, a couple friends, whatever it might be, drinking a beer and hitting a small little ball? Like what could be better than that, right? What I want,
I can think of a lot of things, but
to each his own.
Yeah.
In 2 years, the reason I love golf so much is in 2 years I can take my son to go play.
Oh, nice.
And he can learn to play. And that's like a nice little family bonding time as well.
Yeah, that's true.
There aren't many games that you can do with a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old until they're 60.
That's a good point.
I can't.
Okay.
So for the rest of my life now, I still golf
So
with my
you're doing
dad.
it for the kids. That's what
I do. I play golf for the kids. play golf for the kids. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I'm just trying to improve. I'm trying to improve families.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
my next task in life. I sold Tarmika. Now I'm just trying to make sure families come together through golf.
So golf, that's it. What else? Anything else?
So love golf. And then one thing that I do all the time, my wife and I'm a big food guy.
Mm.
We go to as many restaurants on like Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, whatever is possible with our son. It exposes him to public environments, right?
Yeah.
Because he's young and you don't want him screaming in restaurants.
Yep.
But also just like trying new things.
Yeah.
Love traveling. So new countries, new food, new restaurants, new states, whatever it is. Love to travel.
What's your favorite type of food?
My favorite type of food. I love Mexican food.
Yeah,
I love
me too.
tacos.
I love Mexican food.
My favorite meal of all time. So my wife and I went to Fiji for our honeymoon.
Oh, nice.
And we were on this small little remote island. And the fisherman came off onto the island with this massive fish and goes, "I caught dinner." And we thought he was joking. And he wasn't. And he made us these fresh fish tacos with what he just caught. And it was like the greatest meal I've ever had.
Oh, wow. That sounds amazing.
So I love doing that. I just love traveling. I love eating. I love doing all that stuff.
Yeah. And what's your favorite drink? I actually know this too.
Bourbon neat.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Nothing in it. No ice. Nothing. Last night I got a bourbon. They put ice in it. It's offensive.
Yeah, I'm a neat guy too. Yeah.
But number one bourbon. So my favorite of all time is Parker's Heritage 10. So Parker's Heritage 10 neat. And that's the dream. Parker's Heritage 10 neat with a taco. You got me. On a golf course.
Bourbon and taco?
On a golf course.
That's it. Done.
Yeah, those three things on a golf course.
That's it.
With my kid and my wife. Because I have to say that too.
So I always ask people, who would you recommend? Anybody that you recommend I interview on this podcast that I haven't already?
Anyone I'd recommend you interview on this podcast? I got a couple good ideas. If you could get, I think a really cool interview would be Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So,
you know him?
Not personally, but we can figure that out. No, I think a really cool podcast guest, and I don't know if you've done this in the past, but take any of the top 10 agencies in the country and interview what their perspective is on Insurtech, insurance agencies, and the future of their vision. I'd love to see that, whether it's Acrisure, Assured Partners, Hub Group,
Yep.
MMA, Gallagher, someone.
I have one of those coming up, actually.
I would love to hear their perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, and they're just transforming, especially the big ones. They're transforming.
Yep.
Into more tech companies.
They are, and that's why getting their perspective, I would love to hear an interview with you and them, and I would love to just hear how different they think than I do.
Yeah.
And how you do.
Call. Yeah, that's a good call. No, it's it's really, really interesting what those guys are doing at the top level, the big ones.
It's cool.
I mean, agencies in general, a lot of them, but the
top ones have completely changed their mindset and perspective, and it's so different than what it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yep. All right, man. That's all I got.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, dude.
What's my question?
My computer's about to die.
What is the question? Oh, yeah. So, question for me. What advice would you give to a new startup? Just one piece of advice. Or, I don't know.
Founder?
2 pieces. Founder.
Dive in head first and don't look back. Go 100% in, 100% committed, and don't think twice about it. It's the moment you second guess yourself is when things start going downhill.
Interesting. That's good. I like it.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right.
Raghav Tanna, huh? I should have started episode 1 intro with a little bit of disclaimer, because this was at ITC at Vegas, like doing it live there. It was, let's just say, that was not easy. It's not easy.
Well, I'm just glad that we ended up doing it before ITC actually got started, or I probably wouldn't have gotten both of you to do a recording first thing in the morning.
No way, Jose. No way. But yeah, Raghav. It's funny. When I was on my way back from lunch just now, and I was thinking about it. I was riding the bike back, and it's like this thing we always come to. And not to toot Raghav's horn, because I do enough of that to this guy. Like, him and I are friends, but he again, I hate this is like repetitive thing. He's a good dude.
Yeah,
he is. He really is. He's a good guy. People love this guy. They do. Everybody loves him. And he's not full of shit. Like, he really isn't. He's like a good, on your word, like, nice guy, right? And like, I've gotten to know him. It's no bullshit. It's no front. It's like this common theme.
I think it's a common theme because, and I forget who said it. Maybe it was you. Maybe it was someone else I've worked with over the years. But your software it's not a tangible thing. So at the end of the day, you're buying from a person. And so I think while having a partnership or a trusted, account executive, no matter what kind of thing you're selling, is important, I think it becomes even more important when you're selling something that's intangible, that you truly like trust. And so I think that's why we see good people win, because they're the ones that are, you're buying from a person at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, no, that's so true. It's so true. But I mean, it's like, in this world and insurance technology, I mean, it's hard to believe that it's just that. I mean, it's not just that. We know it's not just that. But it's a big part of it, right? I mean, I don't know. Call it a coincidence, but the other thing too, it's funny because some of the past guests on this show, if you will, really, really knowing them and knowing their families and whatnot, they are really good people. Everybody that's been on here, but I'll tell you, not everybody was like who they are now in the past.
Yeah,
they're there now. But like, I've had some late nights with these people, and they're like, Reid, like, back when, like, but it's they've transformed into these people, and I really think that's a huge driver of success in ways, and everybody hears the stories of people that aren't that way, that are successful, and blah 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 blah, right? But I don't know. There's something to it, at least in our industry.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something to it. By that, I mean, you talked about it in the beginning of the first episode. Raghav's not even 30 yet, and for him to not only have already had a successful exit, but just the type of person that he is, I think shows a lot about him. Like, to be that driven, I'll tell you that was not me in my 20s.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's very, I can't say it about myself. I was super driven. I was like a child, but like different, but yeah, I totally agree. And it's rare. It is very rare. It's interesting too with him. He's going to crush it. Like, he's got this new big position now at Applied. I mean, he's got big responsibility at Applied, and he's owning it, and he's making moves. I mean, I'm seeing it. And it's awesome. This guy's going to do big things. If it's not in this industry, it's elsewhere. He's already done big things at a young age. You just know it. You can see it in this dude. Like, so keep following him. He's going to keep doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
But it's awesome that now he gets to kind of do his thing in a huge organization and really make a name for himself globally. And he has a platform to do it. And he's going to. He already is. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm excited to see like the connection of, like you were saying, of all of the pieces that are now coming together. You know, while we're all owned by Applied, I think like Ivans and Tarmika together want to see big things happen for the entire industry. So that's what I'm excited about, is like what we're going to be able to do together.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll just say from the Ivans side, I mean, the acquisition to us was critical. I mean, and maybe critical is not the right word, but this was a great acquisition in a number of ways for us at Ivans. And it gives us that panel. It gives us the panel. It gives us the markets to really go and do what we want to do. And we want to own that space, you know, as we should, just like we own download connectivity. You know, we want to continue to own connectivity in this industry and be a good steward of it. And so therefore the industry can build cool shit. You know, it's as simple as that. And Raghav and what he built and the team and the connections and everything, it was a great buy for us. And buy sounds kind of cold when I say it, but it's much more than that. I'm really excited about it. We all are. Mm-hmm. It's really good, and excited for Raghav to really, and his team to really take their careers to the next level. And, you know, it's when we're talking to people like this that are getting acquired and being infused in these large organizations and are real doers and real hustlers, this is the future of our industry, being insurance technology. These are the people that are going to go to other places, other startups, big companies, you know, whatever. They're going to move around and they're going to continue to grow. And that's the future. And so it's like knowing that and getting to know these people, it's really, really cool, you know?
So you think he's kind of the next generation of like your founders that we started with the podcast in the beginning?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. But you never know, you know, people change. They maybe they get burned out from this industry. They go into something else. But I think so. I mean, he comes from an insurance family, you know, and I mean, this is what he's always done, like, as you heard.
Yep.
And so, and he's got a lot of friends and family, and he's built a big network. So, you know, typically when you're in that and you have a big position and you're doing big things and you have the platform to go do cool shit, why would you? But yeah, I mean, I think if all the stars align, which it seem like they are, I do. I really believe it. You know, he's a smart kid. I work with him. I know, you know, and so yeah, I see it. I see a lot of potential there long term for him.
Yeah, I do agree with him when we were talking about like other people to interview, you know, and I even heard it. I was at an event on Friday in Boston talking about like Insurtech 2.0. I hate when they put that on there, right? But what is Insurtech 2.0? They're basically saying that and I think we've talked about this, the first wave was all about the displacement of the independent agency. And then they realized you can't do that. So now this next wave is how you support the independent agency and make the more seamless between carriers and agencies. But he had said, right, let's go out and talk to these people that are trying to get independent agencies to move forward, to be more, you know, digital. So I think that's definitely a good path for us to look at for interviews in the future.
Yeah, it's funny. That's always been there though, right? It's like the waves, you know? I mean, come on.
They're talking about Web 3.0. I don't even know what that is. But yeah, I mean, there's always the next wave. So
I'm working on a 3.0 of my beard right now. It's coming in waves.
On that note. But yeah, on to the next one. Hey, but I definitely think we should try to grab someone from the agency side. It'll be a point of view that we haven't gotten yet.
Good call. No, I agree with that. Yes. Big, digital brokers, what are they doing? How do they feel about this? Because just like, technology companies and carriers are starting to become more technologies. Well, so are the brokers. So I think it is good. Yeah. We talk to a lot of different types of people in the space, but yeah, how are they thinking about that? I like it. Let's do it.
Awesome.